From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening with incredible great news here on Evenings LATE. In this recording, we're going to go over your fourth stimulus check and why there was breaking news late today that is absolutely incredible. We'll also go over the 5 major breaking news stories on your fourth stimulus check that happened earlier as well. Fourth stimulus is the single biggest payout you'll ever see in the history of this channel, a multiple stimulus check. Monthly, that starts in the month of July. We'll go over how much you're going to get and when you're going to get it. Then the second half of this recording, we go over SSI and SSDI lifts, raising your benefits if you are on any benefits, including veterans benefits, under the fifth stimulus package. It's incredible great news. And then in the middle of this recording, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 that you can get automatically some of the money. And for the first time ever, you're going to see a tracking tool, how to track that money. It's a big Evenings LA, incredible great news about those multiple stimulus checks, about your fifth stimulus package for your SSI reform, and about automatic money, and it starts right now. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It's a beautiful evening. You almost made it halfway through the week, so congratulations. This is Evenings LA. How's the weather where you are? It is starting to cool off. It was warm here in Los Angeles, a little too warm for me, but not particularly too hot. How's the weather and where are you tuning in? Drop in the comments if you're watching live during the instant premiere or taped. I'd love to see where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. In this recording, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check that lands in your bank account starting the month of July. We'll go over the breaking news that happened late today. Yes, it's shocking. And the big, incredible, great news that's been happening in the last few hours of yesterday. Incredible details about that monthly stimulus check. In the second half of this recording, we're going to be going over the fifth stimulus package that raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, and yes, survivor benefits as well. And the new breaking news about that as well. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money that's available for you, some automatic. I'm so excited for you. I'm very excited for the viewers that have gotten the money. If you haven't, watch this video. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the evenings, and then overnight, literally for 12 hours. Coming up next on this channel at 7:30 is, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time is Evenings Crypto. Followed at 7:30 by Overnight's Crypto, our new 12-hour hit show. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers in a year, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Later in this video, you'll learn why membership is so important. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Let's get to fourth stimulus by understanding how much is involved and why it's absolutely incredible. The fourth stimulus package was written on the House level by Jalapal. And we're going to go over the House proposal, or bill, versus the Senate bill. When Jalapal wrote the House bill, the language said pandemic plus 1 year monthly stimulus checks. Jalapal's bill provides stimulus checks on a monthly basis for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Let's now look at the Senate proposal. That is July to December. If you're watching this show when it debuts at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate. And if you're watching it taped, jump into the comments. But don't vote yet. So when we look at the monthly amount, the House proposal is $1,000. The House bill is $1,000 after the first month. The Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 for the senators. That's per person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Yes, that's a person. Now, before you vote, let's go back and look at Jalapal's bill because it's getting modified, not in language, but because of what's going on around the globe, around the country. The pandemic plus 1 year provision is the fascinating one of Jalapal's bill, because some insiders believe that for legislative purposes, the pandemic may be over by the time the vote occurs. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill won't provide stimulus checks monthly, pandemic plus 1 year, just 1 year. That would be 12 months of stimulus checks, $13,000 under Jalopal's calculation, versus the Senate proposal, which potentially is the same amount of money in less than half the amount of time. So now, if you're in the live chat, vote House or Senate. Also tell me where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching this taped, drop in the comments, House or Senate, which one do you vote for? All right, let's go over the great details elsewhere that you need to know about the fourth stimulus package. First, who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. So if you got the third one, you get the fourth one. $75,000 or less single individual income, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. A household 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And yes, if there's 6 people in the household, 2 would not get the stimulus check. If you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Would the check be taxable? Nope, it's not income. Is there a different stimulus check amount for adult dependents and children or anyone else? No, everyone would get the same amount. It would not come in waves because it cannot come in waves. It's a monthly stimulus check. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I just report the news. The legislators make the representation, and they represent the vote would be by July 4th. That means you get the check in the month of July for the month of July, in August for the month of August. And this is being done by a 2-step, 2-bill, 2-month process already underway called reconciliation. And there you go. That's your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But guess what? I got 6 breaking news stories, including one that happened just shortly before the time of this taping. And it's coming up in just a second, including these incredible letters. It's really snowballing. I'm very, very excited for you. Stay with me. That's coming up just in a second. But now let's get a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this recording. Fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus would add in a SSI and SSDI reform so that your benefits would be raised up. Who's you? If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, your benefits would be raised up one big time. It's incredible, great news. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark, and that benchmark would be inflation. Well, there's new economic data coming out today that suggests this number could be life-changing, and I'll have all the incredible details in the second half of this video. Now, if you don't have a pen and paper, get one ready right now, because for just a few minutes, I'm going to go over the thousands of dollars you can get in this video. And stay with me to the very end, because I got money across this entire video that you can get money for. I don't want you to miss a single minute of the money across this 30-minute video. We're going to go over first the incredible $350 billion that's landing from your federal government in your city, county, and state this week and next week. It's third stimulus, not fourth, but third. It was supposed to land there a while ago, but now it's coming. It's coming this week, and it's coming next week, and it's landing in 6 locations. And what's important to understand is that if you reach out to one location and get a no, go to the next one, because they each have different eligibility, different pots of money. So you got that pen and paper ready? Let's get to it. With those 6 places to get, the first item, which is rent. Rent is about $5,000 for 4 to 6 months of rent. Then there's money for utilities. There is money for homeowners mortgage and homeowners utilities. And those 6 places for rent are City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, State Hall, State Housing Authority. You're going to ask for rent assistance because of COVID. You don't use the word stimulus. And reach out to them. You can also say Economic Recovery Act of Biden's. There you go. I had one viewer yesterday who got rent. I had another viewer on the noontime show who got rent. I forgot his name. So every single time that someone gets even 1 penny for rent, I get very excited. So if you've had a success story in getting any of the monies covered in this video, drop in the comments or drop in the live chat. I got this. I love it because it shows that people are using the videos to empower themselves. All right, now I got more money for you. What is that? It's SNAP. And I had one viewer say that's this morning they got SNAP. I was excited for that viewers as well. And that was in Mornings LA, on air, live. So what is SNAP? It is money for food. How do you get it? From Department of Agriculture. They administer it. And how do you reach Department of Agriculture? You can call them directly or call 211. How much money is it? It's a fortune. It's a lot of money. A family of 4 in Hawaii can now get upwards of $16,000 a year. Yes. Why so much money? because of two executive orders, one from Trump, one from Biden, which raised your benefits up 15% over 1 year. Yeah, it's just great. So go get that money for SNAP, $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. We are doing really well. We're 10 minutes into this video. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got some automatic money for you, and it's starting right now. Two places, and one of them I got a tracker tool. For the first time you're going to hear this on Evenings LA. Yes, we're getting exciting stuff in this video. So the first one that's automatic is coming from your state. States are returning thousands of dollars. One viewer got $5,000. We're returning thousands of dollars back to you, which you had returned back to them. What's going on here? I'm going to go over what it is, then I'm going to go over how you get it, and then I'm going to go over when you're going to get it. All right, first, what is this? The federal government has identified thousands of dollars that states paid residents or citizens and then said, return the money back to us. It was money that was overpaid due to computer malfeasance at the state level, no fault of the citizen, of the recipient. So the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. Yes, incredible. And so how do you get this? In the bank account that you have on file, when are you going to get it? Every state has different routing times. Reach out to your respective state to learn those routing times. All right, now let's turn to the federal money that's coming back to you. Oh boy, this is good stuff. So the federal government is returning thousands of dollars back to you. And one viewer got $2,000 for this. So let's go over what it is, how you get it, when you get it, and then I'm going to give you a tracking tool for the first time on Evenings LA. All right, first, what is it? The federal government is returning back to you money you paid to IRS for taxes on your 2020 unemployment benefits. Incredible. So how much money is this? Here's an example. Let's say your total unemployment benefits in 2020 was $9,000. You paid IRS $5,000 of total tax bill, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment. You're getting $4,000 back. Great news. Then how do you get it? In the mail, in an envelope. I detailed this a lot yesterday. If you watch those videos, basically what I was saying is the envelope was so thin you could miss it. Be careful with the mail. Beige white envelope, beige check, IRS Treasury written to you. Finally, when? 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. All 3 phases are paid out by May, but you may not receive it until maybe the first week of June. All right, phase 1, single individuals, non-complicated returns, no dependents, sent out last week. Phase 2, already being sent out, which is single filers, complex returns. Phase 3, later this week, joint filers, husband and wives. Incredible. And those are all all land by about next week. All right, new for Evenings LA tonight. Tracker tool, getting ready? Yeah, get that pen and paper back out. So we're going to go over this tracker tool. If you want to track the payment coming back to you from IRS, go to irs.gov. Set up a username and password. If you haven't done this before, when tracking your stimulus check, oh yeah, irs.gov, you're going to go into the website, set up a username and password, put your social security number in, and then do what's called a transcript search of yourself. It'll reveal all your history with the IRS. It'll show when you filed that 2022 return. And then the most recent entry should be when that check is coming back from IRS. Wow. I'm really excited for you. But boy, I'm more excited even about this. And the excitement is just hitting this afternoon. I'm going to be going over, I believe it's 6 breaking news stories. 1 happened just about half an hour before the time of this recording. 3 happened late yesterday. It is just snowballing. It is all 4 stimulus, multiple stimulus check breaking news. And I'm going to start from the beginning so you see how it is snowballed. It's like a domino effect. It's building up very fast. I'm really, really excited for you. We're going to start with Jalapal. Remember, Jalapal wrote that House bill that provides monthly stimulus checks. When Jalapal wrote that bill, Jalapal got nearly 100 plus House Democrats writing a letter to the president saying, we're going to put multiple stimulus checks in the 4 stimulus package. Senate Democrats wrote a separate letter saying the same thing, that if the House Democrats don't do it, the Senate Democrats will do it when they get the bill at Vote-A-Rama, the final 2 days when the bill is in the Senate. Well, guess what happened with Jalapal first in our chronology? Jalapal just days ago wrote the leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi a letter saying, call the vote. Call the vote. What are we waiting for? Wow. So why is Jalapal saying this? Because the 4th stimulus has been finished ostensibly, and they just need to call the vote. And it's basically saying, Republicans haven't come up a dime. What are we waiting for? Just call the vote. It's great news. Now, it's actually even better news because guess what? The letter is co-signed by dozens of legislators, some of which that also co-signed that multiple stimulus check letter to the president. Wow. But I got even better good news for you, and this great news came on Friday last week when this letter was sent from 7 House members to the president this time. Who are these House members, and what did they say? They said to the president in their letter, "We will work with you to put multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package." They are being gracious because they write the fourth stimulus. Legislators write fourth stimulus package, not the president. He just recommends things. So they're being gracious to him. They are the people who put the bills together. But why are these 7 people writing this letter? Because these are the 7 people who actually write the stimulus check section of the fourth stimulus package. Yes, really. So the House Ways and Means Committee is the subcommittee in the House that's actually tasked with the duty of writing stimulus checks. They did the third, the second, and the first. They do the stimulus check writing laws. They also do the unemployment section of writing stimulus packages. And so when they're writing the president saying, "We will work with you on putting 4 stimulus checks in there," they're literally saying, "We're the subcommittee that does it, and we're going to work with you on putting them in there." Wow. And this is just last Friday. Yes, you can see the finish line in front of you. And then it gets even better than that. And how did it get even better than that? When the president of the United States on Friday last week said, "I will come down $600 billion on my proposal just because it's $600 billion that's somewhere else in another bill." What did he basically do? He basically said, "I'm not changing a penny. I'm just noticing some parts of my bill are somewhere else, so I'm not changing a penny." Why did he do this? Because the Republicans, by the time of that message yesterday, had not come up a penny either. They're at $500 billion. They had been at $500 billion for several months now. And the president said, "You're not moving, so I'm not moving." So guess what? These negotiations have not been fruitful. They're going to end on Friday. The president said to his legislators that he's not going to wait around another day, that unless we get this done, the vote will start after Memorial Day weekend. Wow. So the president basically said, "I'll have lunch meetings with the Republicans day after day, and the negotiations may not be fruitful, but we are going to stop, and then we're going to call the vote. We're going to stop the negotiations on Friday, and we're going to call the vote thereafter." Incredible news. So then it came the big news late yesterday. 2 items of big news, and both of them were surprising, but the second one left me speechless. I have to slow this one down because this one's a little more complicated. Fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the corporate tax rate. The corporate tax rate is currently 21%. The president wants it at 28, 29%. He, weeks ago, said to the moderate Democrats to make a deal with him, "I'll meet you halfway at 25%. Deal." That was great news at the time. So what did he do yesterday? He was trying to get the global corporate tax rate to a consensus among G7 countries. And they finally, apparently, have nearly reached that consensus. They're agreeing upon what insiders say a 15% global corporate tax rate. Why is this important? It means that a corporation, for example, in California, would not relocate to France to avoid having to pay 25% of corporate taxes. They will go to France because the corporate tax rate is lower. Now, because of the race to the bottom is being cured by raising it up to 15%, businesses would not move internationally. But it actually gets better. Insiders believe that the president now sees that so many other G7 countries do have corporate tax rates lower than his 25%, that if he gets this done and fourth stimulus is out the door and the stimulus checks are done, that he will come back and then drop the corporate tax rate back to 21%. Oh my goodness, this is incredible great news. So basically, stimulus checks would go out and then he would come back and reduce the corporate tax rate down to 21% and still pay for it that way. Boy. And then right before the time of this recording, you may have heard the news, which was the Republicans came in with a counteroffer after nearly 3.5 months of staying at $500 billion. A few Republicans, just a few, this is not the whole Republican caucus, but a few came in and said, maybe we'll do $1 trillion. Understand, this is not going to be a deal. And the great news is that both parties have made their efforts, and now it's time to call the vote. Done. And in the second half of this recording, we're going to go over the big exciting news about fourth stimulus still happening and fifth stimulus that raising your benefits. But first, I want you to get that money for rent and utilities. It is available right now. But if you have problems finding it, don't worry, because I have wonderful volunteers who are viewers just like you. They are salt of the earth, and they have stepped forward to help you get that money. They're on the community page. How do you find the community page? It's in the pinned comment to this description of this video. Open the description, and you can see an emoji of a house. That'll send you to the webpage, news.lalate.com/community. On there is a picture of some cats. Go down the page, and there are the volunteers separated from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and they'll help you find that money. And guess what? I will be back in 60 seconds with big, exciting news about rent, fourth stimulus, and also fifth stimulus. Stay with me. See you in about 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA with more exciting news about your fourth stimulus check, those monthly stimulus checks. Fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up across the board. And other breaking news that you need to know. I'm really excited for you. How are you? It's evenings. How's the weather where you are? It's been hot here in LA. It's a little bit hot. So how's the weather and where you tune in? Drop in the comments. I'd love to see where you're tuning in from. This is LA. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. Next stop, 1 million. Subscribe right now. Also hit that like button too. 3,000 likes. It really helps in the algorithm ranking. And consider becoming a member. In this video, you're going to see in just a second why membership is very helpful to make sure you don't get confused with all these stimulus packages. All right, let's turn to fifth stimulus right now. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall as a two-step, two-bill process like fourth stimulus. Only difference is instead of stimulus checks, they're adding in that SSI and SSDI reform. What is it? Let's go over the broad details of it and then the specifics and the breaking news. They're going to raise your benefit limits, then then remove the asset limits, add an inflationary benchmark, then remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. All right, let's go over what that means. Let's go over why the benchmark is so important. Let's go over the breaking details and news about this as well. This stimulus would raise your benefits up. Who is you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or multiple benefits, your benefits will be raised up one big time they represent. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark will be inflation. Now, we all understand what inflation is, but how does a benchmark work? A benchmark basically works the following way. In December or November, you get a letter saying, hi, next year your benefits will stay the same or they will go up. Well, we know that inflation will not be zero in December, but how high will this inflation be? Many analysts are now thinking that inflation in December may be the highest December inflation of a generation. If that's the case, look at how great news that is for you. Because first, fifth stimulus would raise your benefits up one big time. Then in November, December, they apply the benchmark. If inflation, let's say, is 5 to 7%, which is where many analysts now think it may land, your benefits would raise up 5 to 7% next year. But not just next year, lifetime. Once you step up, you never step down. You either stay the same or step up more. So if it's 5% this coming fall, then you would raise up 5%. And then if next year is 1%, you step up another percent. But you would always be plus that inflationary rate. So if there was ever a time to be tied to inflation, this is an incredible time to have your benefits tied to inflation because you'll have an enormous step up that will be there your lifetime. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap, and that asset cap is absolutely needs to go. It's dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and hold more than about $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away just in time to get those stimulus checks. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a very old law, 1960s law. It's going to go away. So you'll be able to work if you want to work, get $1,000, $2,000 a month, and still stay on benefits. And then they're going to get rid of the marriage penalty. Oh my goodness, thank goodness. That marriage penalty is absolutely horrible. It's dating back to a very antiquated law that says you can't be on benefits and also get married. So millions of Americans have never gotten married for fear of losing their benefits. It's going to go away. So finally, you'll be able to marry your lifetime partner. Love will win, and you will be able to get married and not lose benefits. And people who are married will no longer suffer from the marriage penalty. That's the fifth stimulus package. It heats up this September as a two-step process. The benefits likely to be changed around November-ish, and the step up you would see impact you in January. But here's something else that you really need to know, is that in the fifth stimulus package, there's a lot of other money in there. And I don't have in a 30-minute video that has only 4 minutes left enough time to go over everything that is in the fifth stimulus package. For example, the President of the United States calls the fifth stimulus package the family plan. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's for single people. There is money in there for hazard pay, single workers money, single seniors money for medical. Incredible details. And that's why it's important to become a member. The link to become a member is on the top of the chat in the pinned comment. It gives you delineation of what's in the fifth stimulus package. It's also important to be understanding what's in the fifth stimulus package, but also know what's in the fourth stimulus package. There's a lot of other items of the fourth stimulus package I don't have time in a given day to go over. And guess what? Third stimulus is still landing. What's causing some realm of confusion is that the month of July literally has several laws intersecting at the same time. And if you're not a member or at least subscribe to this channel, and the link to subscribe is in the pinned comment as well, then you may get confused. Here's an example. In the month of July, there will be a budget bill up for a vote. That's not the fourth stimulus package. There will also be the fourth stimulus package if it's not voted in June, but it'll be voted no later than July 4th. Then also in July is the third stimulus money for the children landing across the country. That's third stimulus, not fourth stimulus. So suddenly you see how third, fourth, and fifth are literally happening at the same time. It can be very confusing. And that's why it's always good to become a member or at least subscribe to this channel. All right, let's circle back now to fourth stimulus and go over some other things that I want you to focus on as well. Fourth stimulus will not have money in there again for homeowners assistance and also for renters. So that was why it was so important for me to go over earlier in the video for you, because the eviction moratorium going away, the mortgage forbearance going away. They want you to get that rent right now, so please do. But the real surprise is that fourth stimulus may have an extension of federal unemployment benefits in it. Boy, this is a surprise that I did not see coming. In that letter from those 7 House members of the president that oversee stimulus checks in the House Ways and Means Committee and oversee unemployment, they told the president they are ready to work with him, which means, they're going to take care of it, to put federal extension of unemployment benefits in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Now, it's a very fluid situation. They don't say which instrument, so I don't really know which one it is. It could be PEUC, which is additional weeks of UI. It could be PUA. Maybe it's FPUC, which has been very controversial yet. But the great news is that you see how this snowballing of all these details about fourth stimulus has really, really sped up. Since just, I think it's almost Thursday last week, in just a few days, everything is speeding up. If you were with me in December of 2020, right before Christmas, there was literally 3 days in which it looked like Congress got more done in 3 days than they had done in 3 months. So I want you to subscribe because things can be speed up very quickly in the next few days. understand that the Democrats are saying, call the vote. There's no reason to wait around anymore. Call the vote. The president's made the message clear as well. I'm not going to, unless I get $3 trillion, I'm ready to start the voting next week. So we're going to move very quickly. I don't want you to miss any breaking details, whether it's changing the corporate rate or changing the international corporate rate or anything important that you need to know. I want to make sure you get it. You know, it was about 2 weeks ago when we were talking about all the tough love and the tax returns were due, and I told you I didn't want you to miss any of those deadlines. There's some times when there's deadlines in this channel, and this time it's not your deadline, but things are speeding up very fast, and I don't want you to miss anything. So subscribe. Also like this video, and join me next with Evenings Crypto. It's coming up in about 2 hours from now. It's a fun show. It's a very fun show. Viewers are learning, and viewers have literally gone from not understanding anything to completely grasping the situation and having a ball at it. So join that show. It's a fun chat, and at least you'll see your familiar faces. So subscribe. Also like this video, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Have a beautiful evening. Join me for Evenings Crypto coming up next, and then overnight crypto. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE.